why work? Why do we focus on this thing called work? It's because we spend so much time doing it. Work is a place where we actually get a good feeling even when somebody asks us to do something. Because when they ask us to do something, they're telling us they have confidence that we can actually do it. It gives us a good feeling. It gives us a connection. Work is also a place where we learn about ourselves. We learn that we're really good listeners, that we have the ability that when someone's talking to open our minds and be willing to alter our point of view. That we may have a really good idea, but if we just open our minds and listen and are willing to change our point of view, maybe we can get a better idea. We also get feedback that, like, we're really bad with people, okay? That sometimes there's something in our behavior that needs to be adjusted, and this behavior certainly needs to be adjusted. Or, as Corey said yesterday, maybe the person needs to be adjusted. We learn how to work in teams, how to work with others, the power of teams, that there's not much that we can do alone. We need teams. And for many of us in this room, you know, when we thought about our lives as 10 and 12 years old, we never thought we'd get involved in something that enabled us to see some of the greatest cities in the countries that we live in, as well as some of the great cities around the world. These are all the things that work affords. These are all the things that work provides to us. So it's an important place to try and bring about change. Now, as we talk about great place to work for all, it's made up of 6 things, not one thing. It's made up of values. We had leaders who talked about that. It's made up of leadership effectiveness. You need great leaders. Innovation. We believe those things drive profitability or financial growth. We believe in maximizing human potential, all built on our platform of trust, which we've been doing for over 20 years. It's all of these things that create a great place to work for all, not one of those things. Someone earlier today said, oh, so now you're going to do a diversity and inclusion list. We're not doing a diversity and inclusion list. We're doing a great place to work for all list. It's all these things. So we'd like you to talk about all of them when you're really communicating effectively about what we're about, because we believe it takes all these things to help your business grow. This is our big idea. We want to create great workplaces for all by 2030. How does that sound to you? I talked to a lot of HR leaders who were here about this yesterday to get their opinion. A couple of them, especially they were younger, they were like, that's too long. We got to do it now. A couple of them, a little older, were like, it'll never happen by 2030. Okay, and they were like, look, I thought maybe it could happen, but 5 or 6 months ago, I realized probably it can't happen. Okay? I actually think that the events and the tension and the divide are going to make it happen. More people have marched in the United States in the last 5 months that have marched in history in the United States. I believe people are activated now. I believe now is the time. It's going to happen. We're going to hit the accelerator button and move forward and see things differently in terms of the way we treat each other. Doesn't mean it's not going to be bumpy, but I believe that the time is now. So we know it's not going to be easy. All change gets resisted. None of it gets embraced. We had several leaders on this stage talk about this identical thing. So this will be no different. It's not going to be easy. But I think about people who are right now 10 to 12 years old and the workplace that they're going to enter. That's what 2030 is about for me. It's not about me. It's not really about you. It's about what can we create to create a change so that the work experience for people is equal and fair for everyone, where everybody can innovate and help grow the business. I think these kids deserve it. I think this woman deserves it. These are the people who are going to be entering the workplace in 2030. So the question is, what do you believe? These are some things that I believe. This is what we're always questioning. And usually when we meet resistance, it's because we're talking to somebody who has a different belief, perhaps some different values. So I think of young Woody. Here's Woody. He's happy, fired up, excited, because he's going to a job interview. Okay? He's going to stop playing around in the closet, okay, with other toys, He's going to get a job now. It's time for Woody. So Woody goes to the interview, and this is who he sees. This is the executive team. Look at that team. Good-looking team. A lot of diversity on this team. And Woody's going to go in and interview. Funny thing happens. Woody's there, and they talk to him about respect. We respect all our employees. We're honest with all of our employees. We're fair with all of our employees. We include everyone. Belonging, the new word. We create a sense of belonging. But if you're Woody, why do you feel like this? Those are all great words from some beautiful people. Well, for Woody, he doesn't see anybody else who's 40 centimeters tall. So Woody's wondering, I mean, will I be the first one? Because all those words made sense and the feelings were good, but I just don't see anybody else who looks like me, and I'm just wondering if I'm going to be really treated fairly. And is the conversation I'm having really credible or respectful? Am I really going to have an opportunity? Do y'all get who Woody is? Okay, kind of this situation. I'm having fun with it, but it's a serious situation. And we're hoping for the best for Woody. You know, Woody would like to see even Wally, who's semi-depressed robot, a little rusty, but at least they could talk eye to eye. Okay, if the two of them come together. So what do you believe? You know, sometimes you don't know in time that you're living in the good old days. A couple of those shots reminded me that I didn't realize I was living in the good old days. But here we are, focused on 2030 and the change that we want to make. In 2030, I hope Glassdoor is not, they have a different business model. They're not the place where people go to say negative things about companies or the thing that's leading to executives drinking every Friday and Monday before they look at their results. That what people are doing is they're looking for companies that are certified great places to work for all, because they know those companies are where people can go and they're going to be treated well with respect, credibility, and fairness, and promoted and guided and developed. That's what I hope in 2030. I hope in 2030 that everybody will look at an organization that they're looking to join and see people that look like them at all levels of the organization. I hope that happens in 2030. I hope we're not talking about diversity and inclusion in 2030. I've been hearing about it for the last 40 years. I'm frankly tired of it. Maybe you're not. I think it's time for us to move past it. And I know it's possible for us to move past it. We have people posses at Great Place to Work. Because we're so diverse, with so much inclusion, we don't need a diversity committee. You just call some people together, it's going to be what it needs to be, and these people have a role of helping management know what the people need and helping the people know what management needs. And that's how they work and that's how they function. So I'm already living it. I hope those young people that we saw earlier never hear this, something that was said on a stage in Silicon Valley 1 week ago by executives who live 4 miles from Silicon Valley. They're in Silicon Valley, live 4 miles from Stanford University, and say they can't find women qualified to work in their venture capital firms. Okay, so this was only a week ago. I hope that those young people never hear something like that. That's a painful thing. And I hope this question, in Great Place to Work, we're going to do a lot of work to bury this, to put this to rest, to prove and document that the way you treat people, the way that you innovate, drive financial performance. And I mean revenue and earnings and stock price. So we've already been writing about it. We just published a report that you got in your email. We're going to continue to put this to bed in the next couple of years. I believe that we'll also realize that a lot of the millennial search was BS, frankly. Okay? This poor group of people have been studied to death. Okay, and you know, there's more coming out. Like something happened to human beings to make this strain of people different all of a sudden. They're just like everybody else. Okay, this is my belief. Every year, they fight it hard, but every year they become more like their mother or father. Just like their father, and the father and mother before them, because this is human beings. This is what human beings do. And here's the thing. What we need to be doing instead of studying them is developing them, teaching them, guiding them, holding them accountable. That's what we need to do. They want these things. They want those things. They don't want to read more research. They're not really interested in it. They want to be treated a certain way and giving opportunity and being challenged. And when we hold them accountable, I hope when they have kids, they'll find out you shouldn't give every kid on the soccer team a trophy. Okay? It's just a bad move. You know, that my generation thought somehow it was a good idea. You know, when I was a kid, you got a stick. You know, one kid got a stick, you know, but all of a sudden we moved to this new era of belief. Here's the other thing. You know, a lot of companies have Millennial Mondays, you know, but if you're 55 and over, that feels kind of average. If you're doing Millennial Mondays, you need to be doing 55 plus Love Fridays or something. Okay, it needs to be balanced. We're talking about being fair. You don't want to select one group and put it on a pedestal. It's just not fair. That's not creating a great place to work for all. We got to treat everybody great. Be consistent in how we do that. Here's the other thing. Sometimes people, when we talk about these topics, they're like, well, the pie's, you know, kind of small, and I got to keep my share of it. And you're saying I need to have more people around the table and different people around the table. I know how to work with these people, but now you're asking me to bring in other people around the table. Okay? That's not the point. All the research is showing you can make the pie bigger. There's enough pie for everybody if you treat everybody a certain way, which is what leaders need to do. Because these people want some pie. These people want some pie. These people want some pie. You shouldn't get all the pie. They want some pie. This kid wants some pie. These young people want some pie. And these women want some pie. And there's enough for everybody if we just open our minds and decide it's time to make this kind of a change. Now, you all know I'm delusional. Okay, it's a big dream. That's documented now. You know, everybody knows it, but I need you with me for what we're about to do, which is to create a great place to work for all. Thank you for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. Hope you make your flights. Thank you very much. Thank you.